What's up, Rocket family? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the Dollar Tree solar lights. I did a video like this a couple of months back, but I wanted to do another one with easier hacks. Before we begin the video, please let me know down in the comments if you count to 10 on your fingers like Matt, my husband, or I. When I count to 10, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Matt starts 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do it like a wave, and he thinks I'm weird for doing it like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and click the bell button to be notified every single time that I upload. With that being said, let's begin. If you head into Dollar Tree right now, you are gonna run into so many different solar lights. They have the same old, as well as these flame solar lights and even stair solar lights. So make sure you pick out a few that you like for these projects. Here's something simple you can do with the solar lights to bounce the light around. You're gonna pick up the clear acrylic gems from Dollar Tree. What you're gonna do is take the top off and then pour some of your gems inside of the solar light. Then you're just going to put the light right back on. You can clearly see the difference between these two solar lights. This is the one without the gems and this is the one with the gems. Now let's try it with the blue one. And here's the difference between the blue ones. This one doesn't have the gems, this one does have the gems. I love how easy this hack is, and you can do this with solar lights you get somewhere else. I know solar lights at other stores tend to be brighter, but if you use this method, you can make them even brighter. I decided to also do this with these glass containers I got from Dollar Tree. I like to use solar lights inside of the glass containers because then I don't have to light a candle every single time I'm outside or put on fairy lights. It's easy to just have the solar lights inside of there. But inside of one of them, I added some gems and marbles from Dollar Tree, and you can clearly see the difference. The one on the right is just so much more vibrant. There's absolutely no skill required to do something like this, which I love. If you're trying to take the glowing to an extreme, you can put fairy lights inside of the solar lights. I like these ones from Amazon because the pack fits inside of the solar light versus the Dollar Tree pack, which you see here, that doesn't fit inside of the solar light. This is something you only want to do on a special occasion, otherwise you're stuck going outside turning every fairy light on individually. So do this when you're having a party or people over and really make your solar lights glow. It's not hard to tell on video which solar lights have the fairy lights inside of them. There is a clear difference. This DIY is easy and adorable. Pick up some crates from Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using 4. I removed the bottom off of 2 of my crates. To do this, I just push the bottom out. Sometimes this can be hard to do, so get a flathead screwdriver and start to pop the wood off. Once I have that done, I glue my 4 crates together. The 2 that have the bottom still inside of them, I have at the bottom, and then the ones that don't have the bottoms anymore are at the top. So this way, I'm making deeper crates. Then I'm going to go ahead and stain my wood. To do this, I'm actually using these furniture markers from Dollar Tree. I'm using the one that is called maple, and then I ended up having to use one of the ones that's called oak. I used oak along with some paint in the inside of my crates because my maple pen had ran out of ink. Next up, I'm using this framed chalkboard sign that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm putting on these decals I cut out with my Cricut. You can always freehand this if you like. Once I had those down, I took my oak furniture marker and I stained the wood using that. I then go ahead and glue this to the front of my crates. Now where the solar lights come into play for this DIY, I'm going to be painting the inside of my solar lights with a mixture of acrylic paint and Mod Podge. I don't want to paint the inside of the solar lights with just the acrylic paint. I want it to be watered down because if I just go with an opaque paint, you won't be able to see the light in the inside of the solar light. So you want to still be able to see through this. To have that happen, I use Mod Podge. I'm going to be painting some faces on the front of this. Make sure you're going to be using an outdoor paint. If you do this, I got the outdoor paint from Wal-Mart. It's an indoor outdoor paint by Apple Barrel. So I go ahead, paint on these little marshmallow faces. They're very popular to do and really easy. I did the faces and then I did some fudge at the top of this. Again, make sure you're using an outdoor paint. I recommend sealing the acrylic paint with some outdoor Mod Podge. It's meant for the outdoors. I just didn't have any on hand. I also did a fairy light with some orange color in the inside. So it was an orange acrylic paint and Mod Podge, and then I did some flames on the outside of it because I wanted it to look like a fire. Now for this particular light, I did paint it orange because I didn't want it to glow with that cool white color in the inside. I wanted it to remain orange, so I did a layer of that Mod Podge acrylic paint on it.
Now let's set this all up. I put my solar lights inside of there. I added those marshmallow holders. I don't even know what they're called exactly. I did some chocolate and the marshmallows. I would actually individually wrap the marshmallows if I was actually having people over, but this is all for me. Hence why I'm touching the marshmallows with my bare hands, because I actually ate them all after filming this. I love marshmallows. This is absolutely adorable, you guys. I love how this turned out. I actually forgot to put some graham crackers, so I threw those in. Cooper, want a cracker? Is the cracker yummy? This is how it looks at nighttime. The marshmallows really glow, especially after I painted the inside of those solar lights white. And the orange one is a little bit more subtle because I did paint the light orange. I love this thing so much. This is another quick, easy hack for your solar lights. You're gonna get your solar light from Dollar Tree, as well as some stickers. I found these adhesive mirror stickers from Dollar Tree that I think are gonna pair well with these silver solar lights. I'm gonna have to cut these, be careful. I did cut myself already using these, but it wasn't when I was cutting them. It's actually on the edge of this. So you do have to be a little bit careful if you're using these ones. Sometimes the adhesive on Dollar Tree stickers isn't the best. So if you are worried about your stickers coming off, you can go ahead and use some glue to attach them. Look at how gorgeous these turned out. And what's really nice is the light reflects off the mirror, which in turn really makes these glow. It's so easy to change up the look of the solar lights using stickers or even ribbon from Dollar Tree. These turned out super glam, so if you're into that type of look, keep your eyes open for those mirror adhesive stickers. Dollar Tree just recently got in these gorgeous flame solar lights. Now they don't really remind me of a flame other than they're orange and they flicker a little bit. They're good quality though. They just don't necessarily scream flame to me. So this is how they look. You can put them along your pathway. You can put them all over the backyard. I just wanted to share with you guys how they look because they are a great new buy. These solar lights pair well with this hack that Sarah Jane Chic on the Cheap came up with years ago. It's brilliant. Get a broomstick from Dollar Tree and remove the top of it, then place that top at what would be the bottom of the broomstick. Removing the top of the broomstick exposes a hole that you'll be able to put your solar lights through. So what you're gonna do is put your broomsticks inside of the ground. I did create a deep hole using a stake, and then I pushed my broomsticks inside of the ground, and then I placed my solar lights inside of the broomsticks, and this instantly creates height to your solar lights. You can make this a little bit shorter if you like by cutting down the broomsticks or pushing them further into the ground. This is a simple, easy hack that works really well in your backyard. I also want to share these new stair solar lights Dollar Tree got in. You can put them on your stairs to help them light up at night so you can see them, or you can even use these on your fence. We decided to screw some into a wood fence. We're actually getting a new fence soon because this one is falling over, but you can see it glows. It's really awesome. I didn't think of any cool DIYs for these solar lights, so if you have any ideas, let us know down in the comments.
For our next project, you're gonna need a hula hoop from Dollar Tree. They carry 3 different sizes. I went with the smallest one. Also, when I film like this, I do this on purpose, like this far. For TikTok, y'all, I don't know what I'm doing on TikTok. You can follow me at bargain.bethany. I do have some tutorials up there. But sometimes I'm like, am I supposed to hold a hula hoop and like dance and be like, you're gonna get a hula hoop, you're gonna get a solar light, and you're gonna make a craft. This is something I've never thought to do until I was watching Do It on a Dime recently, Catherine. You could take off the paper from the hula hoop, and usually underneath this, there's a pretty decent color there so you don't have to spray paint. So this one is gray. I was hoping I would get a black one. I've seen Catherine with black ones. So I'm just gonna use this gray one, go with what I got. I'm gonna make this as simple as possible. So I'm gonna take some zip ties from Dollar Tree, black ones, and I am going to tie my solar light to the hula hoop. And I'm gonna do it in a crisscross with the zip ties. So I do one going one way, trying to get as tight as I can, and then I'm gonna do one going the other way. So it's more like a cross shape. Before I move any further, I'm gonna take the rest of the solar lights that I'm using and I'm gonna figure out kind of the placement of it before just zip tying everything together and realizing that it's all spaced out funny. You can take the solar light off of the pole and tie it down that way if you want to. I mean, you could do that. So now I'm taking this plant hanger from Dollar Tree and I'm going to zip tie it onto the hula hoop because these hooks won't wrap around the hula hoop. So instead I'm gonna zip tie them on. If you wanna cover up all this, paint it so that it's all one color, you can do that. But I'm just trying to do this the easiest way possible. I went to Dollar Tree and I got one more hula hoop. I'm going to attach this hula hoop to the bottom of my solar lights. To glue these on, I'm gonna use E6000 because of course you need a glue that's not gonna melt on you if it gets really hot outside. But I'm also gonna use some hot glue because as you glue this down with the E6000, it takes a little while for this to completely dry, so it's easy to knock them off. So that's why I'm gonna use some hot glue so they don't come off as easily. Side note regarding these pieces of the zip tie, you can cover these up honestly with anything. A floral piece, a sticker. You can grab another hula hoop and glue it on top of this hula hoop to hide these more, or leave them as is. I'm leaving them as is. They're not very noticeable, especially when it's hanging up.
To hang this up in our backyard, we have this piece of rope that is attached to our house and a light post. This rope, it's green and I got it from Dollar Tree. I forget the name of it, but you'll be able to find it at Dollar Tree. I just placed the plant hanger on top of the rope, and that's it. At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you guys the chandelier I made in my last video, just in case you didn't see it, because that one is gorgeous. This one, I wouldn't say that it's gorgeous, but I do think that it's really cool and it's simple to do. I wanted to do something that was more simple and just straight to the point. This is how it looks at nighttime. I love these solar light chandeliers. They're really inexpensive to do. It'll cost you more elsewhere, and you can really customize them to suit your type of decor that's inside of your backyard. Also, I want to say this, the top of the solar light needs to be facing the sun. You can't put the solar light upside down, otherwise it's not going to recharge. For this project, we are going to be using the wood pallets from Dollar Tree. They carry two different kinds, one that has 4 wood slats and one that has 5 wood slats. I'm using the 5 wood slat one, as well as this dry erase board that is framed from Dollar Tree. I'm staining all of these pieces with my Verithin stain in Early American. It's my absolute favorite stain. I only had 8 pallets, so that's why I ended up using the dry erase board, and I placed that in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack my pallets on top of each other, leaving a space in the middle for that dry erase board. I'm going to be attaching everything together using these slabs of wood that I also got from Dollar Tree. I used them in a previous DIY, so you're going to see some hot glue on the back of them. So I apply some wood glue going across some of the pallets, and then I place my wood slab on top of that. Then I use these small little screws that I have. They're random screws I have saved over the years, and I use them to screw the wood into place, really just attaching everything together. So I have 3 pieces that are going across all of the pallets, and then one that's going to go down the middle of the pallets. Now I'm going to be screwing on these little planters I got from Dollar Tree, 3 for $1. I did create a hole with a screwdriver, and then once I had that hole, I placed my little screw through the hole, and then I screw that into the wood. I used 4 planters. I then go ahead and use wood glue to attach my dry erase board to the center of what I'm making. I found this fresh flower rub-on transfer sticker from Dollar Tree that I thought was perfect for this, so I put this on the dry erase board. To hang this, I'm going to screw on one of these hooks. It comes with the 2 little screws that you need, and I got this at Home Depot, but I know you can find it at any hardware store. You can hang this up wherever you like. I hung it on my actual house. There's a nail outside, and I put it to hang there. Put real or fake flowers inside of this, and then I put some solar lights behind this so it's wedged between the house and the pallets. You don't have to do this. I just did this because I wanted to include this DIY, and since this is a solar light video, I was like, okay, let me put these solar lights behind this. I just thought this was really cute, and I wanted to include this inside of the video. You can also get these new solar lights Dollar Tree has and place those above each plant to really make this glow. I really wanted to do a solar light centerpiece, so from Dollar Tree I picked up this planter. You gotta poke the holes, and I'll tell you right there at the bottom where you're supposed to poke of the planter, because you don't want this collecting water outside. Now I'm going to glue on this nautical rope that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm using 2 different kinds, this more white color one and then one that's a little bit more brown natural colored. I would use E6000 and hot glue to attach this, but for video purposes I just used hot glue. And I'm going to repeat myself, you don't want to use just hot glue and stick this outside, then wonder why the hot glue melted. you got to use something more heavy duty because, I just said that really weird. Anyways, because hot glue, if it gets really hot, it just starts to melt. I'm now going to dummy the inside of my planter by using 2 styrofoam cubes I got from Dollar Tree. I place one in the middle and then I cut another one in half and place those pieces on the side. We're doing all the things to this planter to really make it glow, including putting some mirrors inside of this. These mirrors are from Dollar Tree. When the light reflects off of the mirror, it creates a brighter glow to your solar lights. And then of course I'm going to add some marbles, and these are the clear marbles from Dollar Tree. I put some on the side because I needed some filler there. I ran out of some styrofoam, and then I placed them also on top of the mirror. For this project, I'm using the flame solar lights and then just the regular ones that Dollar Tree carries. I'm going to glue the flame ones directly to the mirror and then glue on my normal solar lights on top of the flame solar lights. I wanted to do a little bit more of a beachy vibe for this centerpiece, so I glued on one of these starfish that Dollar Tree just got in. I'm so excited they got fake starfish in because starfish are expensive when it comes to starfish for crafting. I did throw in some marbles that have a green tone to them as well to make this look more like a nautical theme, and I put some fairy lights at the bottom. The lights reflect off of the mirror and it just looks so pretty. So this is how it looks at night. It kind of reminds me of a ship, the way that the solar lights look. It is so pretty. I really do like this centerpiece. For this project, I'm going to be using these LED hanging lamps from Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the bulb from it and I'm going to push out the lights, the fairy lights that are inside of this. I'm then going to take off this metal piece that's at the top that's meant to hang this. Next up, I'm going to remove the top of my solar light off of the plastic piece. This is the actual part that you need for the light. And then I'm going to take a heavy duty glue. I'm using A6000. You can use super glue, hot glue, that's completely up to you. And I'm putting it on the top of this. You want to use a heavy duty glue, not just a hot glue gun if you're using this outside. Once I have the glue down, I go ahead and attach my light. Then I go ahead and place my light bulb back on. And now we have a piece that will turn on at night. You don't have to go outside and turn on every little individual light. So for hanging this outside, we took a drill and made the holes that are on the side bigger. That way I could feed a zip tie through these holes. Once I have the zip tie fed through the holes, I tie them to the rope that I showed you guys earlier. And I tie it really tight so this doesn't go anywhere. And you can see if you look at the trees during this video, they keep moving. It was very windy and these did not go anywhere. The night that I put these up, it ended up raining really bad, and I realized that I should have sealed the holes because some water did accumulate inside of the light bulbs. So seal the holes with some glue so that way water can't get inside. If it does get inside, you'll just have to untwist the bulb and let it out. So this is how they look at nighttime. Now I wouldn't say that they're very bright, but they still glow and they look really magical. And the nice thing about it is, like I said, you don't have to go and turn every little individual fairy light on if you kept them the way that they looked before. Even though it looks really pretty the way before, it's just it's a pain in the butt to turn on fairy lights, especially so many of them. If you do exactly what I did, you're obviously gonna have these plastic pieces left over in the fairy lights. These actually can just go directly into the plastic pieces, and the top almost fits perfectly, not quite, just almost. So take a bit of glue and attach both of the plastic pieces together, making sure you don't put any glue where the actual battery is. So you can see there's the battery there, don't put glue there. This is along the lines of what I said earlier. This is good for when you have people over, if it's a special night, if you're having a party, but it's not going to be something that you're going to turn on every single night. The other thing about these fairy lights, I don't know if they're waterproof. I know the Amazon ones are waterproof, so I don't know how they will react if you put them outside and on while it's raining. Now I just shared with you guys how to make those hanging solar lights. However, if you just want to skip making them, I found these relatively inexpensive solar lights, string solar lights from Amazon, and I'll link them down below for you guys. I think I paid $30 around for 24 feet, and they work really well. They're very vibrant, but this is the hack I want to share with you guys. Sometimes you don't have a fence and you want those stringed lights but it doesn't really work when you don't have a fence to hang them off of. So you can get the flag poles from Dollar Tree. Just put them in the ground, place your string lights on top of the flag poles, and then zip tie them into place. And go tight with the zip tie so that the lights don't fly away on you. And you do this with a few flag poles. It's going to be up to you how many you want to use. I used one for every 3 lights, which I actually think was more than what I needed. And it's just an easy way to hang these lights if you do not have a fence. Or if you want them to be hung lower than against the fence, or you just don't really want to put them on the fence and put the little screws and stuff that you need to get them to hang. This is how they look. It looks so pretty. Everything in my backyard is solar powered except for the ones by the tree. Those ones are connected to a power outlet, and those are from Costco. I think Costco carries them almost year round. I swear they're out like all the time. Right now I know for a fact they're out, but those aren't solar powered.
For this project, we're going to be using 2 hula hoops in 2 different sizes. The other thing you're going to need are pool noodles, and you are going to slice them down the middle, but not all the way through, so that the pool noodle still stays intact. You don't want to make it 2 separate pieces.
Once you have your pool noodle sliced down the middle, you can wedge your hula hoop between that slice. I used 1 pool noodle and a half to cover up this smaller size hula hoop. Next up, I duct tape where the pool noodles meet, so this all becomes one bigger unit. I recommend using a duct tape that is the same color as the pool noodle that you use. Now for the star of the show, solar lights. You don't have to use the Dollar Tree solar lights. You can go get a different one if you don't like the way that the Dollar Tree ones work. Whichever one you get, you are going to remove it from the stick that it is attached to. You'll then start pushing your solar lights through the pool noodle, creating these holes that are going to go through it. Once you have those holes set in place, you're going to go back in with some hot glue so that the solar lights have something to attach to. I'm trying to get the hot glue in the crevices of the pool noodle, like deep inside of there, so that the solar lights don't go anywhere on me. Next up, you want to get some floral, greenery, and start attaching it to your pool noodle. I use zip ties to do this. I prefer to use zip ties over hot glue for 2 reasons. Number 1, this is going outside, so zip ties keeps the floral and the greenery in place. During a big windstorm, it's less likely to fall off than if I just used hot glue. The second reason is because if I decide to use the greenery in a different DIY, which I did a few times in this video, I'm able to cut the zip ties off without affecting the greenery. Versus using hot glue, I tried to peel it off the pool noodle. Now it has hot glue on it and pieces of pool noodle attached to it. So I prefer to use zip ties. You can use whatever you like. I started off with some leaf garland that I got at Hobby Lobby half off for $5, and then I started to attach this rose garland. Now I think I got this at Hobby Lobby. I got it years ago, so I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Hobby Lobby. I got some pink roses from Dollar Tree and some white roses from Hobby Lobby. I go ahead and I push those through my pool noodles. There was still a piece of stem pointing out so that I could push them directly into the pool noodle. I want this piece to hang, so I purchased this plant hanger from Dollar Tree. There are 3 chains that come down off of a hook. So the way I attach this to this piece is by taking a zip tie and I loop it through one of the bottom pieces of the chain, and then I go ahead and tie that around the pool noodle. So the pieces of the chain are actually attached to the zip tie, and the zip tie is attached to the pool noodle. And this is a really, really great secure way to hang this hanger versus trying to stick it through the pool noodle. It's gonna mess up that way. Once the chains are on, I flip this over and I just add some more floral pieces to the bottom of this. Now this is a chandelier I'm going to be hanging outside. I hung this off of a piece of rope in my backyard. This is how it looks before the solar lights start to turn on. It's still a gorgeous piece. It was really windy and it didn't go anywhere. Now this is how it looked at sunset. The lights are just starting to glow. It just looks so freaking pretty. This is how it looks at nighttime with no sun whatsoever. It is so beautiful. You can try putting the solar lights at the bottom. The issue with that is it might not fully charge. It needs direct sunlight at the very top of those pieces. So that's why I put the solar lights at the top versus the bottom of my chandelier. But you can give it a try doing it the other way around. This is what I see in the morning when I wake up too. It's so beautiful.
So that's it for the solar light hacks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any hacks that I missed or that you want to share, make sure you leave that down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.